In fact, this is a two-way system where the electrodes not only allow you to listen to the conversation among the neurons, but you can also stimulate those neurons.
These electrodes were able to send electrical signals back to the neurons. Growing a rat brain in a petri dish and communicating with it could be the high-water mark for weirdness. But actually, it pales in comparison to what's coming next. DeMars had the seemingly ridiculous idea that his artificial brain in a dish could be hooked up to an F-22 aircraft flight simulator and actually fly it. DeMars wanted the brain to fly the F-22 on a straight course. To do this, he translated the plane's pitch and roll movements into electrical pulses. If the nose of the plane pointed too far down, high-frequency pulses were transmitted to the neurons in the dish. And if the nose pointed too high, low-frequency pulses were transmitted to the neurons. The question was, would the neural network be able to interpret the incoming pulses and correct the flight of the plane? To make it even more challenging, DeMars turned up the weather.
So this is probably the worst conditions that I can put the aircraft through and still have the neurons fly. And even for a human pilot, this is difficult flying. You can see by the radar, this large red splotch there is a severe thunderstorm that we're about to fly into.
At first, all seemed lost. The aircraft drifted almost aimlessly, crashing frequently.
Normally, when this thing's learning, the algorithm really doesn't control it that well. You can see the aircraft's banked over, and it's not trying to correct for it at all. And so eventually it'll just fly into the ground. And so let's put it back up into the air.
But slowly, the neurons began to learn, making new connections and started responding to the incoming data.
Just hitting the center of the thunderstorm now.
Watch carefully. A tiny part of a rat's brain was actually flying a flight simulator in a thunderstorm.
It really was amazing to see how well that simple collection of 25,000 neurons could do to fly the aircraft.
Connection 3 shows that it is possible to create a direct brain-machine interface, the holy grail of hybrid robot design. As incredible as that experiment may seem, the research didn't stop there. Coming up